Greetings YouTube, Skill Incarnate bringing you all the latest indie gaming goodness. Welcome to the second part of my Factorio tutorial series. In the last episode I showed you some very basic tips and tricks to creating an automated mining operation. We are using coal to create some mines and fuel them. And we have a number of smelters here which are breaking down the raw iron ore and raw copper ore into iron and copper plates. You can see these here. Now all of this iron and all of this copper will be used for today's tutorial, which will be on the creation of electricity. We will be doing this by creating a steam engine to convert the water from the nearby lake into electricity, and that will be routed around the base by using some power poles. Now this is a very important thing to have. Without an electric generator we cannot perform any sort of research, which means that we cannot improve the efficiency of our base. Now you can see the reason why I was saying in the first episode to always set up near a body of water. This will ensure that we can route our electric power through the base. Now there are three things that we need to build in order to create electric power. The first thing is an offshore pump. The offshore pump costs 5 metal plates and 3 copper plates. And this pump will basically pull the water out of the lake and feed it wherever we want. We're going to place the pump here. Now we're placing it obviously as close to our base as we can. We want the shortest possible distance between the electric generator and our base. The other thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to build ourselves some boilers. These are the boilers. They cost 5 rock and 1 copper plate. I have plenty of stone, or plenty of rock, and I have plenty of metal here. So we're going to build 3 of these guys. One more. And the reason why I'm building 3 is for a bit of redundancy. If one of these runs out of fuel or is destroyed, then I can very easily just move one of these or move the generator closer to replace this, to create just a redundancy plan. And you always want to make sure that you've got an electric generator which is well defended. When we swap over to electric power, if the engine is destroyed, then our base will grind to a halt. To create a steam engine, it will cost a whopping 20 iron plates. This is a very expensive structure, but is an essential one. Now, as you can see, this isn't doing anything at the moment. And that's because I need to go and gather some coal because the boilers are coal powered. So unfortunately we haven't broken our reliance on coal yet. But this will be a far more efficient use of our coal than feeding the coal into our mines. So we're just going to place a bit of coal into each of these boilers. And as you can see, there's smoke coming out of these, and if we mouse over we can see that they are heating the water to 100 degrees Celsius. Now all of this steam is going to be routed into our steam engine. As you can see here, there is some water in the engine. It's got 10 units of water. It's ready to go. And the good thing about these boilers is that they will not consume coal unless this is actually using the water. So because this is now full of hot water, we don't need to waste any more coal in our boilers. So these will just hang on to the coal in the queue. Now why is this not working? We've got water. The water's coming out into the boilers and the boilers are routing the steam into the engine, but the engine isn't working. Now the answer to this isn't as simple as what I first thought. It's because we don't have any power cables. We don't have any power poles. Now to make power poles, you'll find these in the crafting menu in logistics. And we need 1 log and 1 copper plate. So get cutting down trees. You can see why the trees are so important, because without trees we can't make any power poles and we cannot make any electricity. Now, if you're not near a forest like the one where I am, have a look around for dead tree trunks or these fallen trees. Cut them up with a pickaxe and you'll be able to get yourself some wood. You want ideally around 60 to 70 wood to make yourself some power poles, depending on the distance of your base from the water and depending on how many mines that you want to get working. But a good rule of thumb is to collect around 60 to 70 wood, as this will allow you to route power to most bases. I've got about 70 wood, so let's start building electric poles. I want to build as many of these as I can, because I do have a few spots where I want to build some electric power. So we're just going to gather some more while we wait. Okay, so we've got 18 poles. Now the first one that you want to place, you want to have it directly next to the steam generator. This is going to hook it up automatically to the generator. Hold down your left mouse button and you can drag out and drop the power poles down. What this is doing is it's dropping the power poles at the maximum possible distance from each other. This is the most efficient way to use your power, or to drop your power poles. Now, as you can see here, I'm going to be placing them down near every key resource. I want a power pole near my copper. I want a power pole near my coal, and I want a power pole near my iron. Whoops. Now, if you make a mistake, you can mouse over the pole that you've dropped, hold down the right mouse button, and you'll just pull it up again. So again, we're holding down the left mouse button and we're headed towards our patch of iron. Again, this is not the most efficient way to set up your base, but for a very quick start, this is perfect. Now, in this episode, I'm not going to talk about electric mines, because at the moment we are running a little bit behind. By doing this tutorial series, I have been working slower than I usually do, which means that we are probably going to be attacked, especially since we now have an electric generator which is spewing out pollution. Now, I mentioned this in the first episode, but to give you a bit more detail, pollution is something which is produced by any device that consumes a fossil fuel. This will include mines, smelters, and of course, boilers. The pollution value for these boilers is 6 per boiler. Now, when the pollution raises to a level, then you will enrage the aliens on the planet and they will send out a party to attack you. So I need to get myself some static defenses and I need to get them fast. Now, one thing I was going to mention is if we go back up to our generator, I don't know if you noticed, but the generator is still not running. And this confused me for a long time. I've got the power down. Why is this not working? Well, the answer to this is simple. We don't have any buildings which are actually drawing power off this generator, so it's just turned itself off. So let's go down to the center of our base, smack in the middle, and I want to build myself a laboratory. This is a laboratory here. The cost for a laboratory is 36 iron plates and 15 copper plates. That is a lot of resources, and you can see why I put so much focus on gathering metal and copper, because we need all of this to build the structures to get our base running. So as you can see, the furnaces and the mines are still going. We have a nice surplus of fuel, so I'm just filling these up as I go. Let's run across to our metal, because I'm going to need to build some more metal. Now, the next thing that we want to build are these science packs. Now, I mentioned this in the first episode, but science packs, think of them as fuel for your laboratory. The science packs are consumed in order for you to research different technologies. The laboratory is not manned. It's not a building where you need to be there in order for the research to take place. It is fully automated. All you need to do is get yourself some power and get yourself some of these research kits, and you'll be right to go. So I'm building as many of these as I can. Now I've already built my laboratory, so we're going to drop this here, and we're going to drop it in the center of our base. The reason for that is I want it to be easily defendable, right in the middle of our operation. Now on putting down the laboratory, you have an option of what you want to research first. Now my general rule of thumb is to always research turrets first. Turrets will allow us to create some automatic turrets which will defend our base. Now, to get the lab working, you do need to place it down within the sphere or square of influence of one of these power poles. What this means is the electricity is coming out of the engine, it's coming down along this power route here, and it's going into the lab. Now, why is the lab not working? Well, it's because we haven't loaded it up with science packs. So the lab is now consuming the science packs and it's researching turrets for us. So we might leave it at that for the second episode of the series. The last thing that we need to do, and the first thing that we're going to be doing in the next episode, is we're going to be building some automated turrets. The turrets will go down and we'll be using those to create some defenses for our mining operation here, and also to defend our critical buildings like our lab. So I hope you found this enlightening. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please leave me a subscribe, leave me some comments, and hopefully I will see you for the next episode. Until next time, Skill Incarnate out.